What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Make sure you follow me over there on Telegram. That's t.me/KingofFomo1, as well as my chat, which is going to be linked in the description below. All right, so first things first, guys. I've always seen this moment in crypto, and this is my one of the best advice that I can give you is don't get left behind. Always go with the flow as crypto evolves, as new trends catch on. Follow the trends, and you will be significantly more successful than if you do not follow the trends. And what I mean by this is I've seen so many people just get stuck in one particular area in crypto. They just marry that area so much, and then they miss out on tons and tons of new opportunities along the way. So DeFi and all these other kind of these new Uniswap altcoins that are coming out, that phase is sort of phasing out of the current moment. Now, yeah, granted, there may be one or two gems that pop up here and there, but as of right now, this is one of the new next hot phases right here, and this is the staking platforms, the battle of the staking platforms. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Wise token. We're going to be talking a little bit about HEX. HEX is up about 100% this week. If you've been taking a look at this and you've been purchasing in here, you've been getting some good profits, and this might actually be a good opportunity to jump in right now. We're also going to look at other staking platforms like DSP, the DSP token, as well as GXY, which is the clone of the DSP token. So first, I guess we can talk about GXY since this is the newer one, but of course, do stick around for the entire video because if you're new to this stuff, if you don't understand how the staking platforms work, it's definitely worth at least learning about so that you, again, are available of the hypes of the trends of crypto, and you're not stuck in the past like I see it happens with so many other people in this space. So first of all, GXY versus DSP, you'll notice that these two platforms look very, very similar. That's because they're pretty much direct clones of each other with a few key differences. So DSP had some issues in the past, and basically, the short version of this, guys, is that GXY is hands down through and through a better platform than DSP, provided there are no flaws or issues in the contract or any type of backdoors. I can't promise you that because I can't look through the entire code myself, but based on what they changed in the GXY platform, it just works 100 times, in my opinion, better than the DSP platform. If you guys are unaware about how these platforms work, what happens is every single day some new tokens are released. About the same amount of million tokens are released every single day for a certain amount of days, and you can purchase these tokens. Once you purchase them, you can also stake these tokens and get a kickback of both Tron and some of the tokens by the end of your stake. The longer you stake, the more Tron you're going to get back, and the more tokens you're going to get back, and the more tokens you stake, the more Tron you're going to get back, and the more tokens you're going to get back as well. So that's how it works. And of course, like I said, just locking in those tokens for a long period of time is kind of what gives the token its value over time. It's a very interesting way to give value to a token. HEX was the creator of this whole idea, and they're doing pretty well. But nonetheless, as these new ideas come to fruition, there always are some major flaws with the ideas that people see maybe later on down the line, and these other clone companies or these other clone projects attempt to try and fix those major glaring issues. So HEX has a bunch of glaring issues, even though it's doing extremely well right now, and I do think it probably has the chance to continue to go up. I think it's at all-time high today, and it probably will continue to go up for the next couple of days. Once we get to a certain point in HEX, and I'll talk about this in a second, I think a major dump is going to happen, and what these other platforms are trying to do, like Wise token in particular, this is my favorite one. This one I think solves almost all of the problems. We'll see if any other problems arise from this, but you still have a lot of time left to buy Wise token before the first day it passes. You have about 2.5 weeks before you have to really start making your decision on Wise token, so I might not go too deep into it right now, but this is my favorite one. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about GXY, which again is a clone of DSP. Now, the difference between GXY, DSP, and HEX and Wise is that GXY and DSP are both on the Tron network. So when you're purchasing your coins in here, you have the option to go over here to the auction. If you want to purchase, you go press enter, and you enter the amount of Tron you want to get in here. Now, the amount of DSP or GXY you're going to get back depends on how many other people are entering for the day. So this day is actually extremely high. 19 million Tron in the contract. Granted, I was wrong about this before. In DSP, let's go to DSP, and I want to see the stakes for here. I was wrong about this. I thought that the value of this was going to go down significantly, but people kept putting in more and more Tron, and this one I don't think it even hit 19 million. So 19 million is a brand new record for them. So they started at 4 million, and then it went up to about 17 million, and it kind of dropped from there. So again, the best times to purchase are at the earlier the better, and the lower the better. So with GXY, they started off at a record-breaking 19 million Tron. We'll see if tomorrow they may have a lower day, maybe a better chance to buy overall. But honestly, I think it's probably going to match the levels of what it is today. So I'm probably just going to enter tomorrow, and it is what it is, because they have some perks here that make it better than DSP. So let's go ahead and get into what those perks are right now, why I think that GXY beats out DSP. One of those perks is there's a sort of not a flaw, but there's sort of an exploit with DSP where you can stake your tokens for an extremely long time. And basically, like, you don't care about the DSP tokens. You're just caring about the Tron that you're kicking back, and you're sucking all the Tron out of the contract from doing huge, long stakes for long amounts of times. I mean, it's 5,000 days, and like, you're not going to check this platform in 5,000 days. This platform is going to be irrelevant in 5,000 days. But nonetheless, you stake it for 5,000 days, and you get a ton of Tron because of that exploit of kind of abandoning the DSP token. In GXY, that's not possible. I think 180 days is the maximum staking period for this. So it's good in two ways, because it's going to lock up a lot of tokens. I think that a lot of people are going to do that, because a lot of people exploited the DSP contract, and they're going to want to do the same thing for GXY. And the best way to do it is to do a maximum stake with the most amount in there if you want to extract the Tron out. And 180 days is not that long. It's only a couple months right there. And on top of that, people are locking in their tokens, which I think is going to bode really well for the price of the GXY platform altogether. And that also, in turn, as more people are locking in those tokens, it's going to give you more dividends overall too. So I think that this is one of the reasons why I think that this thing has the potential to go really high and be very profitable for a lot of people. So I might be depositing quite a hefty amount into GXY tomorrow. So that's one thing. They have some other things too. They fixed some of the issues with DSP's launch, where there was like a huge amount of dev tokens launched on the first day, and I think there was one more issue. I can't really quite remember what it is, but nonetheless, the way that it's painted is that DSP is sort of dead in the water. They've had a lot of FUD over the past few days since like their DDoS attack, and just looking at the plans, the way that they're laid out, even if you eliminate that DDoS attack, GXY is just built better overall, since there's just a smaller way of exploitation and a smaller worry of trust involved in GXY. Okay, so that's this platform. Like I said, this is probably what I'm going to be doing with my Tron, since my Tron is still just sitting in my wallet. I've been looking for something to do with it, so I'm probably going to deposit a pretty large amount into here tomorrow, and cross my fingers and hope that it's not a day where there's like 40 million Tron going into this thing. So that's GXY. So we can get into some other things too. Let's go ahead and move on over to HEX next. Now HEX, like I said, this thing is at all-time high, I believe, today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's really high today. The price is extremely high. It's getting close to where everyone's saying they want it to be a penny. It's almost at a penny. It's at 0.8 of a penny right now. And I'm not going to talk too much about the pipe dreams of HEX, because I do think that once their big payday happens, where a ton of people are going to get paid out a ton of HEX, which is going to be around day 351. So it's about, I guess that's a month from now, close to a little less than a month from now. I think that there's going to be a major dump with HEX. Now, granted, I don't know how high the price is going to go before then, since there is, how many days is that? Let me count it up exactly. So 30, 40, 50, that's 22 days. So since that's 22 days from now, 22 days in between the big payday, the price could go stabilize and go sideways. It could go down, or it could keep going up significantly, but nonetheless, I think that once they do hit that period, it's going to dump a lot. So if you do want to ride the waves, because I mean, it is going crazy over the past couple of days, like I said, up 100% in the past week. And this is a big deal, because I know like you guys have seen Uniswap tokens, oh wow, 10x, 100x, those kinds of things, but HEX is a very different case, because it has a ton of liquidity, huge amounts of liquidity. So this is a token where, like, if it goes 100x, or if it goes, like I said, 100% up, you can actually turn $1 million into like $2 million or something like that. With other Uniswap altcoins that go 10x, even though they're small market cap. You can't do that because there's not enough liquidity for you to do that. But in HEX, this is why it's a big deal. This one's up 100% because it has a ton of liquidity already in it, where people can make a lot of money from putting in a lot of HEX, the week before. So I might purchase a little bit of this stuff. My intention is to sell it before the big payday for sure. And move on from there. Wise token fixes a lot of the issues that HEX has. So I do plan on purchasing in Wise token, and again, they're in a really good position because they're actually starting. They started already, so people are asking, can you buy a Wise token? Yes, you can. You cannot buy it on Uniswap. No, you can only buy it here on the dashboard. So go to your dashboard and then go over here to Wise reservations, and then you can pick a day to purchase. There's all kinds of caveats to picking a day. If you want to be safe, pick a day with a fixed supply. If you want to be extra safe, pick all of the days and deposit evenly throughout all of the days. But with Wise token, this one is interesting because of the fact that like I said, it fixes all of HEX's problems. And since it's launching in 18 days, or not launching, but since the day one technically starts in 18 days, and that's what happens after, because people might be confused. What happens in 18 days is day one starts. So when day one starts, right after day one is over, you can't purchase any more tokens in day one. You can only purchase tokens in day 2 through, 50, something like that. So if day one is only a supply of 219 ETH, and all these other days, I mean, let's just take a look at HEX. HEX has hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of ETH going in on a daily basis. If Wise token does the same thing, and you missed day one, which only had 219 ETH in it, you got a ton of tokens for super cheap on this day. If Wise catches on later on, and you start getting into thousands of ETH and things like that. That's why a lot of people are front running and putting it in on day one. If you look at the chart right here, I mean, it's kind of silly to purchase on day one, since you're technically you're going to get the lowest amount of Wise for doing that comparatively. But once we get closer to day one, and I think right before day one is when things are going to even out a lot. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because this first day is really just a prediction of, is it going to hit the average of what the rest of the sale of what the rest of the 50 days are going to do? Or is it going to be well below that? Or maybe it's going to be well above that. It's really just a prediction that people are making. That's why people are buying into that. So that's Wise token. And like I said, since they're launching in 18 days, and since HEX is, their big payday is coming up close to that amount of time, either way, since HEX is doing really good, people are going to be looking at Wise. They're going to be looking at Wise and saying, well, here's a second chance to do the same thing as HEX if HEX does well and survives past the big payday, or if HEX dies during the big payday and, like I'm predicting, and dumps significantly. People are still going to look at Wise and say, well, here's a chance to, follow the same trend that HEX had right here, going all the way up, and over time, why not jump into this brand new one that's, already audited and everything like that. And try to ride that too. So I think that Wise token is set no matter what, to be honest. This is a token that's unlike a lot of other Uniswap tokens. I know we just looked at YGEM, which is unaudited, huge issues on launch, really rushed, it looks like. Wise token has been in development for over a year. They've been audited, they've done their checks and balances, they've thought through their project for a year, they've done test nets. So this is not your typical Uniswap token that launched overnight because they want to copy some other Uniswap token that launched 3 days ago. So that's the other big deal about why I'm trusting Wise a lot more than I'm trusting something like YGEM, where I throw 1 ETH in that and cross my fingers on that one. So that is everything for today. Just want to give you guys an update on all this stuff. You guys have the option to check it out for yourself, and just stay up to date in the trends, DeFi and farming, all that stuff. I mean, it had its heyday. You'll have a couple of gems pop up here and there, but honestly, I'm looking forward to the next thing, and I like to try to follow the trends in crypto space. So again, just to recap, GXY is the one that's kind of, you could probably turn a pretty good profit from buying here tomorrow, maybe. And also same with Wise token, you have some time to make your decision, but once, like I said, in 18 days, your time is going to be, it's not going to be out, because you'll be able to purchase for the next 50 days after that. Let me go back to here. You'll be able to purchase for the next 50 days after that, but you won't be able to purchase on day one, which might potentially be the worst day or the best day. That's what I'm thinking day one's going to be. All right, guys, that's everything for today. I'll catch you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. More importantly, in the chat. Peace out.